ES Audio.
Hi, I'm Rochelle Travers, and this is the Evening Standard's Tech and Science Daily. Coming up, an AI early warning system for tsunamis and earthquakes. Now, let's get into it. There's a new twist in the tale of how DNA structure was first discovered.
Most people, if they know anything at all about the discovery of the DNA double helix, think that what happened was that Rosalind Franklin, a scientist at King's College London, had taken an X-ray image, kind of photograph, of a molecule of DNA, and that Jim Watson, a brash young American who was working at Cambridge, glimpsed this photo, known as photograph 51, and then, without her knowledge, used that information to construct the double helix.
That's Professor Matthew Cobb from the University of Manchester. Cobb, along with Professor Nathaniel Comfort at Johns Hopkins University in the US, has unearthed evidence that this commonly believed story is actually a misconception.
We discovered a number of documents that reveal that at the time, Franklin was aware that some of her data was in the hands of people in Cambridge because, she talked to them about it, she'd given them unofficial reports, and she seems to have been quite relaxed about this.
Amongst the evidence unearthed was a programme for a scientific conference in 1953, where Franklin presented the work from herself, Wilkins, as well as Watson and Crick.
DNA, when it was discovered, when they discovered the structure of DNA, was not known to be the genetic material. Everybody didn't think that this was the secret of life, okay? It was an important molecule, but what it did wasn't clear. So Franklin, in a way, was relaxed because this was just one part of her work. And she went on to have a very successful career until she died in 1958, working on viruses, on the structure of viruses, which was incredibly significant.
Professor Cobb says that the real story behind the discovery appears to align much more with how research is conducted today, by collaborating and sharing data to further the pursuit of science. The full article is available to read online at nature.com. An early warning system for tsunamis and underwater earthquakes powered by artificial intelligence has been developed by scientists.
It can classify the type of the earthquake. Not every earthquake can result in a tsunami. So there are some earthquakes that are more of a horizontal movement, other earthquakes that are more of a vertical movement. In order to create a tsunami, basically need to have more vertical movement that elevates the water column.
That's Dr. Usama Kadri, Associate Professor at Cardiff University and co-author of the study.
We have access to hydrophone data. Hydrophone is an underwater microphone which basically records the sound waves, sound signals underwater.
Experts have already used the sound recordings to detect 200 earthquakes in the Indian and Pacific Oceans.
So when there's an earthquake, these sound waves are propagating much faster than the tsunami itself. So that's the main advantage, that the information is arriving to the recording device much faster than the tsunami itself.
Dr. Kadri says that the AI model is just one part of operational software that they have developed that can assist with tsunami detection within less than 1 minute globally. It looks like the first private moon landing has failed. Japan's iSpace Inc. hoped its lander would touch down on the moon's Atlas crater after a 100-day journey, but after completing its final orbit, the signal from the lander was lost. Next year, iSpace plans to return with a second lander, and even a third that will deliver commercial payloads to orbit and the moon's surface. Astronomers appear to have solved the mystery behind quasars, the brightest and most powerful objects in the universe. They were first discovered 60 years ago, but it has remained unclear until now how such powerful activity could be generated. Scientists led by the University of Sheffield and Hertfordshire analysed data from the Isaac Newton telescope and suggest it's a result of galaxies merging. The team compared observations of 48 quasars and their host galaxies with images of more than 100 non-quasar galaxies. They concluded that those with quasars are around 3 times as likely to be interacting or colliding with other galaxies. Research from the University of Cambridge has found that 45% of people with concussion show brain injury symptoms 6 months later. They used data from a Europe-wide study, and the findings suggest that even mild concussion can cause long-lasting effects to the brain. The hope is that with more research, scientists may be able to predict how a patient will do after such instances, and allow doctors to offer a treatment targeting their particular symptoms. Let's go to the ads. Coming up, FaceTiming parrots and why you might struggle to sing along to your favourite song. Why not hit rate and follow in the meantime? Welcome back. Always getting the words wrong of your favourite song? Well, there might be a scientific reason as to why. A study suggests that lead vocals in pop music have actually gotten quieter over the years. Researchers from the University of Oldenburg in Germany analysed hundreds of popular song recordings from 1946 to 2020. Tracking the volume of lead singers' vocals and bands they played with. They found that the lead vocal to accompaniment ratio decreased over the decades in question. This means that relative to their bands, lead singers were getting quieter. And finally, parrots who were taught to make video calls to other birds using Facebook Messenger for a study continued to call them after the research had ended. Researchers from Scotland and America carried out the study on animal-computer interaction. It showed that, like humans, parrots can form strong social relationships which benefit their health. The findings are drawn from more than 1,000 hours of video observations of 18 pet parrots' behaviour. You're up to date. Come back at 4 p.m. for the Leader podcast from the Evening Standard. We'll be back tomorrow at 1 p.m. See you then.